Hi, my name is Akshay Oberoi, and you're watching me on FilmiBeat. He suddenly got very sad, and I had told him prior कि क्या होता है, but he was very sad. But when the movie ended, he just gave me this tight hug and he said, "Papa, that was awesome." And he's like, "That was the best compliment I've received." Those 5 days are the only days I felt very nervous on set, and I kept practicing, kept practicing, kept practicing. And then I looked over, and working 10 times harder than me is Hrithik Roshan, and that shows you who that man is. And I told him, I'm so afraid to dance next to you. Just take Flesh alone. I mean, as you rightly said, I played a transgender flesh trade owner in that, and it's like a very khunkhar, villainous antagonist. Without OTT, I wouldn't have been able to show my abilities. I would have been waiting around. I would have done one film. Let's see what happens. Would have waited for the next film. So OTT changed the game for me.
हाय गाइस वेलकम टू फिल्मी बीट दिस इज मुर्तजा इकबाल और आज मेरे साथ एक ऐसे एक्टर है जिनको मैंने आज तक जब भी देखा है ना स्क्रीन पे तो हम उनको ऐसे चॉकलेट बॉय बुलाते थे ये बट आजकल ना वो लोगों को रुला रहे थिएटर्स में बैठ के जी हाँ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट नन अदर देन अक्षय ओबेरॉय जो बशीर खान के रोल में फाइटर में हमें नजर आ रहे हैं हाय बैश वेलकम टू फिल्मी बीट
Yeah, it was such a pleasure to be here. Thanks for such a nice introduction.
सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वांट टू स्टार्ट बाय आस्किंग दिस कितने बिजी हो आप अपने फोन्स पे इंस्टाग्राम व्हाट्सएप हर जगह पे फैंस को रिप्लाई करते हुए कि यू हैव गिवन एन अमेजिंग परफॉर्मेंस
यार मुर्तजा अक्सर मेरी फिल्मों के साथ क्या होता है ना, फिल्म रिलीज होती है और कोई नहीं दिखता, और फिर बाद में जब वो नेटफ्लिक्स पे आती है लोग देखने लगते हैं. जैसे गुड़गांव ले लो या पिज्जा ले लो या लाल रंग ले लो, कितनी मेरी फिल्में ऐसी हैं जो बाद में जाकर के लोग देखते हैं. दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम इट्स रिलीज and boom, like all these people have watched it, and I think a new audience who didn't know who I was know who I am. So it's a every actor has a phase in their life. I'm glad that I'm finally seeing this phase.
नो कि आपने पहले भी एक कैप्टन का रोल प्ले किया है इन स्टेट ऑफ सीज बट व्हेन यू प्ले दिस कैरेक्टर आईएफ बशीर खान जब पहली बार आपने वो यूनिफॉर्म पहना होगा व्हाट वाज दैट फीलिंग दैट यू हैड
Yeah, when we had to come to the Marflix office to try on the uniforms, and Marflix के office में ऊपर एक शीशा है लंबा सा. तो I zipped the thing up and I just looked up and I saw myself, and जैसे goosebumps हुए मुझे, because that's a very good looking uniform, and B, like, the Indian Air Force is actually one of the coolest like things on the planet. I still can't believe I got a chance to play an Air Force pilot here. Like, when did you ever think that India would make an Air Force aerial action movie?
ट्रू
Very cool.
ऑफ कोर्स एज आई सेड मेरी इंट्रोडक्शन में कि भाई आजकल रुला रहे लोगों को आई वुड लाइक टू नो कि has your child seen the movie what was
Yeah.
his reaction of course first of all जो जितना भी first half के scenes है he must be very happy to see
Yeah,
you doing
yeah.
things but then of course in the second half a sadness bit comes जो भी पिक्चर नहीं देखी ये spoiler है
Yeah.
तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता
Yeah.
but this is something what was his reaction your wife how did they react to these kind of scenes especially when you are watching it on a big screen
That's a great question. Thanks for asking it, because for me, family is everything. So I'll answer my son first. Throughout the entire shoot, he knew every. He would ask me, "Papa, कौन से set पे जा रहे हो?" So whenever I said fighter, he had this big smile. He doesn't know what it
Yeah.
means कि सिद्धार्थ आनंद, बड़ी film, ये वो. For him, it was Papa's playing an Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's flying the jets around. So he'd ask me, आपने jet fly किया है? Um, but so in the first half he had this big smile on his face, but of course when the second half, no spoilers, he suddenly got very sad, and I had told him prior ki kya hota hai, but he was very sad. But when the movie ended, he just gave me this tight hug and he said, "Papa, that was awesome." And he like, that was the best compliment I've received. And my wife, who's been through Jyoti, the entire journey of my acting career, she's seen from the time we were teenagers in New Jersey and I used to dream of being in Hindi cinema. She's seen all of that journey. So she looked at me post this, because she was crying in the second half, like tears rolling down. And when the movie finished, she said, "I'm so proud of you. You're an example of what grit and determination finally do. Like, you just stuck it out and you kept saying, yeah, I will make it, I will make it, and here you are."
Right. Of course, I know कि everyone must have been asking you कैसा रहा experience to work with Hrithik, Anil से दीपिका. I want to know कैसा रहा experience ऋतिक के साथ में dance करने का.
Great question, man. Wow.
He is one of the I think the best dancer in Indian film industry, at least for me. I'm a big Hrithik Roshan fan.
Yeah.
So next to him, because I think वो group dance में भी जो थे आप exactly next खड़े
Exactly,
हो,
उनके
तो
कंधे से
कितने
कंधे
nervous थे
मिलाकर
आप,
बहुत
कैसा
बहुत
situation था?
बहुत. See, I'm very confident about my acting talent, so
Yeah.
I never get scared or insecure about my acting. So I never feel कि कोई भी सामने खड़ा है, जितना भी बड़ा सुपरस्टार क्यों ना हो, I always feel like मैं कर लूंगा अपना काम. Dance is something that I think I learned from Hrithik Roshan. I think he taught India how to dance. And I must have been like 15 or something when I saw Kahuna Pyare, and I was like, अगर acting करनी है या actor बनना है हिंदी cinema में, I have to learn how to dance. And then 20 years later, here I am doing this big Bollywood number in YRF Studios with Siddharth Anand at the helm and Hrithik Roshan at the center. And I was so nervous. Those 5 days are the only days I felt very nervous on set. And I kept practicing, kept practicing, kept practicing. And then I looked over, and working 10 times harder than me is Hrithik Roshan, and that shows you who that man is. And I told him, I'm so afraid to dance next to you. And he said, no, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to dance. I haven't danced in 4 5 years. So, I mean, he just kind of made it a lot easier for me to manage. But yeah, man, that was quite an experience. To me, he's not only the best dancer in India, I feel like his only competition is Michael Jackson.
True, agree.
The way his body moves, one step, ये जादू करता है वो आदमी.
Right. Of course, when you started, I remember there were these things where you were compared to Hrithik Roshan, that he looks like Hrithik Roshan maybe because of the eyes and everything. When you used to hear and read all those things, कैसा लगता था उस time पे?
Incredible. I think he's one of the best looking men in the planet. Um, uh, I think I somewhere as a child, when I saw him on screen, maybe that's why I shifted to India. I think about these things now because you don't really reflect on things from childhood so much. But I think I moved to India because I saw this man and he had eyes like mine, and I thought, ki, okay, maybe I can make it in this industry. Maybe he inspired me to come and try. Um, I think नहीं तो वो Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise की दुनिया में I didn't look anything like those guys. He's a guy who I was like, okay, I can do this. So I think he's played such a huge role in my career. He doesn't even know it. I've never shared this with him that I think I decided to join the Hindi film industry because of him. So whatever those comparisons are, I don't know how true they are, but I certainly felt a connect to him.
Right. Akshay, one thing that I have marked when it comes to fighter is that when there are three superstars in the film, a lot of time it happens that people who are there, other actors, they don't get that kind of a scope in promotions or other things. But thankfully, here you had your solo posters, you were there at the trailer launch, I think theater visits, everywhere. The makers took you together. How does that feel when you get the equal importance to what other actors get?
I don't know what I did to deserve it. I know that I've worked very, very hard. I know that that the universe, has seen me work hard, and that every day I've been waking up for the last 14 years, believing in myself and believing that I deserve to be there. But ये उनका बड़प्पन है. It's Sid and Mamta Anand who gave me a solo poster. It's Hrithik Roshan who says नहीं तू इधर आके बीच में खड़े रह और फोटो खींच. It's उनका बड़प्पन है ये. They don't have to. Wherever Hrithik goes, वहाँ पे भीड़ जमा हो जाएगी और वहाँ पे मीडिया आ जाएगी. There's no need for me or Karan to be there. But the fact that he took us everywhere, the fact that he made sure that we were standing center, that we also said a few words to the media. I got a chance not only to be in a big commercial movie, but I got a chance to do it with really good people. Sid and Mamta are some of the best people in the industry. And Hrithik, Deepika, Anil Kapoor sir, I mean, all these people are just good people, yeah.
Right. Also, there was a time when you were doing a lot of stuff on OTT. I mean, of course, Illegal is, I think, one of the best web shows I think anyone has seen about when it comes to lawyers and everything. So, and Flash, if you guys have not seen Flash, go and see. ये जो मासूम चेहरा दिख रहा है in Flash is something totally different.
Produced by Siddharth Anand.
Produced by I was going to come to that.
Sorry.
Do you think that somewhere on the other hand, the projects that OTT gave you has helped you to get more films as well?
100%. Just take Flesh alone. I mean, as you rightly said, I played a transgender flesh trade owner in that, and it's like a very khunkhar, villainous antagonist. But it was that film, that project. I think maybe 5 people in India have seen that project, but it was critically acclaimed, and I got a lot of acclaim for it. And Mamta Anand called me after it and said, it does not reach the audience we thought it would reach, but you deserve more, and I'll come back to you. And who actually comes back to you, yeah? Good people like Mamta Anand. She came back and she gave me Fighter, and made me feel like I deserved it. So I think the OTT thing led up to this. Without OTT, I wouldn't have been able to show my abilities. And I would have been waiting around. I would have done one film. Let's see what happens. Would have waited for the next film. So OTT changed the game for me.
Right. Also, do you think that Pizza came quite early? Nowadays, we have this South remakes happening quite often. At that time, it wasn't happening that much. Do you think it was quite early? Though I love Pizza, I think I haven't seen the original one. I've seen your version, and I would have to say. So, would you think that some things which you did, maybe a Lal Rang that you did, was
Yeah.
quite early ahead of its time? Do you
Yeah.
think those movies
Yeah.
were like that way?
Yeah, I often think about that. I often tried, we always do a post-mortem as to why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Whenever something works, we just say, of course it was good, it worked. We always do the dissection post something failing. And I've had a lot of those. I've had a lot of things that are actually really good but failed. Gurgaon, Lal Rang, Kala Kandi Pizza. I mean, these are all good projects. High, Flesh. They're just good projects that didn't find an audience. And maybe that's the reason. I think Pizza was a script that was maybe slightly ahead of its time. Because every time I meet somebody who's seen Pizza, they're always like, "Man, I love that movie."
Yeah.
And what a script. Um, but who knows? I really don't know. I feel like I started believing in destiny and luck a lot. And those things are not my hand. Destiny and luck are not my hand. Hard work is. So while it's nice to dissect and reflect and wonder why something worked or didn't work, I can't waste too much time on it. I have to keep running, and because I have a goal I have to reach, and in order to do that, I have to stay focused.
Right. So before I wrap up this Q&A, I want to know what's happening next. Illegal season 3, is that happening?
Yes, it's happening. We're done shooting it. It's in post right now. Sahir Raza, the director who made season one, has been working tirelessly on it,
Yeah.
and I think he's very happy with it. And other than that, there's Broken News season two. I wasn't in the first
The
season, but
Sonali Bendre.
Sonali
Yeah,
Bendre and
okay.
Jaideep Alawat and Shreya Pilgaonkar. So I joined the second season, and I played a very different character there. I don't think I've ever played a part like that. I play the CEO of a company who, may or may not have great intentions. And then I did a film called Varchasva, which is about the coal mines in Bihar with Ravi Kishan. I did a film called Tu Chahiye, which is an intense love drama for Z, that's directed by Ratna Sinha, who made Shadi Mein Zarur Aana. Then I did a film called 2014, जो उसका last day of shoot अभी भुज में है next week with the OG Jackie Shroff.
Oh wow, Jagu Dada.
Yeah, Jagu Dada. So he plays a CBI officer, I play a terrorist. So those are all the work that I've sort of finished. Then I got into fighter promotion, and I haven't signed anything yet post fighter, but I'm looking forward to do.
But I think you're going to get to see you a lot this year.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so.